On the surface, Naomi Judd seemed the picture of perfection, a glamorous beauty living her dream life as a celebrated musician touring the country with her daughter Wynonna. But on the inside, there was pain and the persistent haunting of a difficult past.
Naomi Judd was one half of the famous country music duo, the Judds. When she died, she left behind songs, strength, and pain. For a long time, her husband, Larry Strickland, stayed quiet about her final days. But now, he has broken his silence in a powerful moment. What shocking things did Larry share? And why did he wait so long? Stick around to find out Naomi Judd's husband finally speaks. And it's shocking. The love story of Naomi Judd and Larry Strickland feels like a hidden gem in a world where celebrity marriages often fall apart. While Naomi wowed audiences with hit songs and a strong stage presence, Larry stood by her quietly. He was her safe place when fame brought storms. They met in the late 1970s, years before the Judds became a big name. Naomi was a single mom working as a nurse in Nashville, doing everything she could care for Wynonna and Ashley while chasing her dreams that seemed far away. Larry Strickland, on the other hand, was already a performer in his own right. A gospel singer with deep Southern roots, raised in North Carolina, and a former member of Elvis Presley's backup group, the Stamps Quartet. They met through the close-knit Nashville music scene. Larry's deep baritone voice and humble manner caught Naomi's attention, not just as a musician, but as a man of rare substance. It wasn't a whirlwind romance. Instead, theirs was a slow burn, built not on glamour or grand gestures, but on long conversations, quiet understanding, and mutual respect. Naomi, with her fiery spirit and complex past, found peace in Larry's steady presence. They married on May 4, 1989, when Naomi's music career was at its peak with Wynonna. But even with applause all around, Naomi craved more than applause. She needed a partner who could stand beside her not only during sold-out shows, but also in the silent moments that followed. Larry became that person. He avoided big crowds and cameras. Instead, he was always there, patient and strong. Their bond faced a severe test in the early 1990s when doctors told Naomi she had chronic hepatitis C. A frightening diagnosis forced her to leave the stage at the height of her fame. Through it all, Larry remained by her side. He became her caregiver, confidant, and cheerleader. In interviews, Naomi often said that Larry's unfailing support gave her the strength to fight the disease and eventually enter remission. Away from flashing cameras, Naomi and Larry's love thrived in quiet moments. They enjoyed gardening, reading, and traveling together. They often walked hand in hand at charity events and low-key dinners, choosing a simple life over spectacle. Naomi, ever the storyteller, called Larry a true Southern gentleman and once said, "He's so gentle. I've never been with a man who handled me with such grace." Yet their story wasn't a perfect fairy tale. It was a real relationship forged in fire and softened by time. Naomi was open about her mental health struggles, and Larry remained her steadfast companion through the darkness. When Naomi released her memoir, River of Time, about her battles with depression and self-harm thoughts, Larry was there, holding the line when everything else seemed to fall away. Then came the moment no one saw coming. Naomi died just one day before she and Wynonna were to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. It was Larry who stepped forward to accept the honor on her behalf. His voice shook, his eyes wet with grief, but he stood tall to honor the woman he had loved for more than 3 decades. She never met a stranger, he said, speaking not just about Naomi's fame, but about her boundless heart. For over 30 years, Naomi and Larry's marriage was admired by many, but behind their public image lay a relationship full of deep love, hard battles, and intense pain. Now, with Larry finally sharing his story, fans will see a side of their life kept far from prying eyes. So what did Larry reveal? Read on to uncover the darker chapter of their marriage. Naomi and Larry's marriage was full of fierce love and heartbreaking pain. Naomi wrote in her 1993 memoir, "Love can build a bridge," that they were wildly, madly, passionately in love. But that fire also burned in hard ways. Larry often traveled for work, singing backup for Elvis Presley and other artists, leaving Naomi feeling lonely and anxious. That distance fueled doubts and fears in her heart. A terrifying moment from their marriage was revealed in the Lifetime special The Judd Family. Truth be told, Larry confirmed that Naomi once fired a gun at him after discovering his infidelity. "Well, it really happened," he said. "That's all I can say. That's all I'm going to say. It happened." This event, previously shown in the 1995 TV movie Naomi and Wynonna, Love Can Build a Bridge, was a stark sign of the turmoil in their relationship. Naomi then recalled a woman from the Northeast calling their home in Nashville in the 1980s, saying how much she loved and missed Strickland. When he returned home, Naomi tore up photos of the two of them and threw his belongings into a garbage bag in the yard. During a tense moment in the docuseries, Larry rewatched a scene from that TV movie where Naomi's character fires at the man who cheated on her. Despite this horror, the couple stayed together and tried to navigate their complicated bond. In December 2022, Larry reflected on the years he spent caring for Naomi. "For the past 13 years or more, I was with her 24/7, he said. "I never left the house without Naomi knowing where I was going and when I would be back." He admitted, "As far as taking care of myself, I'm not sure that fits my situation. When you have a mate that has a mental illness, you walk that path with them." Naomi's lifelong battle with mental health issues, including severe depression and anxiety, deeply affected their marriage. In the months leading up to her death, Larry described their home life as very chaotic, hectic, noting that Naomi's energy had declined even with therapy and medical treatment. He acknowledged that he didn't see the full extent of her psychological distress. When Naomi's energy dropped and her therapy seemed to struggle, Larry admitted he did not see how deep her suffering was. "Our home became very chaotic and hectic," he confessed. Naomi's battle with depression and anxiety took a heavy toll. Despite treatment, she slipped further into despair. Larry felt helpless watching her fade. Through it all, Larry Strickland has revealed details about those last months. He shared how he tried to keep Naomi safe, but her inner darkness grew stronger. He admitted he missed signs of how sick she was. Fans cannot believe what he revealed after years. Larry's silence finally ended. Fans asked why he waited so long. "I loved her with all I had," he said, voice breaking. His words exposed a raw side of their marriage few saw. Their story mixed love, pain, and betrayal in ways that shocked fans. Naomi Judd's life was full of music and bravery, but Larry is revealing a hidden chapter. At times, he felt guilty for not understanding how ill she truly was. Now that Larry has broken his silence, the world sees a love that fought battles behind closed doors. What truly happened in those final days? Larry's words paint a strange picture no one expected. As we dive deeper into truth about Naomi Judd's tragic end and Larry Strickland's hidden story, prepare for revelations that will change everything you thought you knew. He looked back on that time with deep regret, wishing he'd done things differently. Instead of just focusing on practical tasks, making sure Naomi ate, exercised, took her medicine, and kept therapy appointments, he realized he should have offered more emotional support. "If I had known where she was, I would have been much softer on her," he said, his voice heavy with remorse. Despite all their struggles, Larry stayed fiercely devoted to Naomi until the end. After her passing, he found comfort leaning on her daughters, Wynonna and Ashley. The pain of Naomi's death forced their family to draw together, holding each other up as they tried to make sense of their grief. Larry's honest confessions about their marriage and Naomi's battles revealed just how hard it could be behind closed doors. On May 15th, he spoke openly about his late wife during the CMT special Naomi Judd, A River Time, named after her 2016 memoir about her fight with depression. He painted a loving picture of Naomi, noting she never met a stranger and loved talking to people. He remembered how she would strike up a chat with anyone who caught her eye. Sometimes they would stop in the middle of the sidewalk, talking for ages about complete strangers' passions or their dogs, much to Larry's amusement and occasional frustration. According to Taste of Country, Larry also shared a letter he got from a man who sat next to Naomi on a long flight from Vienna to Nashville. The passenger said he had an entertaining, fascinating, and enlightening conversation with Naomi, adding that she left a big impact on him even in a short time. What an amazing memory to have happened right before Naomi's death. These comments were huge, marking the first time Larry spoke in public since Naomi passed away. Before this, His only statement came right after her death. With all the glitz and glamour came the pressure on Naomi to stay in the shadows. So where did her story begin? Let's dive into her humble roots. A southern tale of struggle and song. Naomi Judd wasn't born a superstar. She started life as Diana Ellen Judd in tiny Ashland, Kentucky, before all the awards and cheering crowds. Her story unfolded in a simple home where Appalachian culture ran deep, where gospel hymns and bluegrass tunes drifted from radios and porches, and families scraped by on what little they had. Born January 11, 1946, Naomi was the oldest of Charles and Pauline Judd's 4 children. Her dad ran a gas station, and her mom cooked for a living. Together, they faced the tough reality of post-war Southern life. There was no luxury, only grit. This theme of hard work and determination would flow through Naomi's life like a mighty river. Even as a little girl, Naomi stood out. Her bright eyes saw more than just a small town. She questioned everything. She refused to follow a set path. She dreamed big, even though dreams felt like luxuries they couldn't afford. But her childhood also held deep sorrow. At 18, she lost her younger brother Brian to leukemia. That loss carved a painful scar on her heart and taught her grief at a young age. Though her family loved each other, they couldn't escape the weight of money struggles and heartbreak. Naomi would later talk candidly about the darkness that often clouded her early years, a depression born of circumstance and tragedy. Yet even then, music offered a lifeline. Her mom played piano at their local church, and Naomi absorbed those in melodies like oxygen, learning to find the notes before she understood their meaning. High school brought both promise and rebellion. She was smart and magnetic, but sometimes she clashed with the strict expectations of a small-town girl. Pregnant at 17, Naomi made a life-changing choice. She decided to raise her daughter, Wynonna, on her own when her father walked away. That decision showed her fierce determination, a hint of the strength she would carry through life's storms. With her baby in her arms, Naomi left Kentucky for California, a young mother with big dreams and hardly anything else. She kept her faith and worked long hours to support Wynonna. Those years of struggle ignited something inside her, a burning need for creative expression, and a voice that refused to be silenced by life's hardships. And what a voice she had, warm, gritty, and overflowing with emotion. As Wynonna grew, her own talent shone through, and Naomi saw a new path forming, one that could lift them both out of hardship. The Judds were born not from luck, but from necessity, a mother and daughter clinging to each other and believing music could be their ticket to a better life. Naomi Judd's childhood was no fairy tale. It was stitched with poverty, pain, and perseverance. Still, it brimmed with hard country music, faith, family, and a bold belief that brighter days were ahead, and they did arrive. Naomi Judd's road to fame. After Ashley arrived and her marriage to Michael Simonella ended, Naomi raised both daughters alone as a single parent, pushing ever forward. She first aimed for a nursing career, attending nursing school at the College of Marin in California while living near Lagunitas. Meanwhile, Ashley, her second daughter, blossomed into a film and stage actress. Following her divorce, Naomi chose to go back to her maiden name and even change her first name. She felt Diana didn't reflect her true roots in spiritual rural Kentucky. Instead, she picked Naomi in honor of the biblical Naomi who left her home to care for her family alone. That story resonated deeply with her, raising 2 girls without a husband and facing life's fiercest challenges head-on. Her journey showed her grit and faith, qualities that would shape her destiny. The stage was set for Naomi to become one of country music's brightest stars, but all started with a young mom daring to dream in the face of everything working against her. Ever wonder what secrets lay hidden behind the scenes? Larry finally spoke out, admitting he regrets how he supported Naomi during her darkest moments. He was so focused on making sure she ate, exercised, took her medicines, and went to therapy that he failed to give her the comfort and understanding she truly needed. "If I had known where she was, I would have been much softer on her," he confessed with raw emotion. Through it all, Larry stayed devoted to Naomi until her very last breath. After Naomi died, Larry leaned on Wynonna and Ashley Judd for strength. Their shared grief drew them closer, helping them navigate the pain together. By speaking out now about their marriage and Naomi's hidden battles, Larry has pulled back the curtain on the silent struggles many couples endure when no one is watching. Then on May 15th, everything changed when Larry opened his heart on the CMT special Naomi Judd, A River Time. Named after her 2016 memoir that chronicled her fight with depression, this program unveiled side of Naomi that fans had never seen before. Larry spoke about how Naomi never met a stranger and would strike up conversation with anyone who made eye contact, sometimes talking for minutes on end about their passions and even their dogs, much to Larry's amusement and occasional frustration. He remembered how Naomi would light up a room just by nodding at someone, turning a passing glance into a deep conversation. Even Larry admitted it sometimes drove him crazy, but also made him proud of her generous heart. But perhaps the most touching story came from a letter Larry received from a man who sat next to Naomi on a long flight from Vienna to Nashville. The passenger called their chat entertaining, fascinating, and enlightening, and said Naomi left a lasting mark on him in those brief hours. What a precious memory to hold on to in the days before her final, tragic moments. These revelations were enormous, marking the first time Larry really spoke out since Naomi's death. Before this, he had offered only one brief statement right after she passed away. The glitz and glam of fame tried to bury her spirit in the shadows, but her journey to greatness began long before the spotlight found her. Naomi Judd was born Diana Ellen Judd on January 11th, 1946 in Ashland, Kentucky. As the eldest of 4 children, she grew up on a tobacco farm where every day was hard work. Her father ran a gas station, and her mother cooked in a small diner to feed their family. Naomi's curious eyes did more than see. They questioned everything around her. She refused to settle for the life her parents lived and dreamed of something bigger, even when money was tight. Tragedy struck when she was 18. Her younger brother Brian died from leukemia. That loss left a wound that never fully healed, teaching Naomi how fleeting life could be. Yet music became her sanctuary. Her mother played piano at church, and Naomi soaked up those hymns like they were oxygen itself. High school brought both promise and heartbreak. Naomi was bright and magnetic, but at 17 she discovered she was pregnant. Determined to be a good mother, she moved to California with her daughter Wynonna, working as a nurse by day and singing in local venues by night. Those years of struggle shaped her fierce resolve and powerful voice, warm, gritty, and full of raw emotion. Before they signed with RCA, they performed on small stages and on local radio, building a loyal fan base with their genuine talent and heartfelt performances. When Wynonna showed signs of her own gift, mother and daughter joined forces to form the Judds. Together, they dominated country music with 20 top 10 hits, 15 of them #1, and remained undefeated for 8 straight years at all 3 major country award shows. In 1983, RCA Records finally noticed their demo tape, launching them toward 5 Grammy Awards and countless other honors. Naomi even snagged a Grammy for writing Love Can Build a Bridge. Naomi received the Golden Plate Award from the American Academy of Achievement, an honor for her courage and impact. That same year, she reunited with Wynonna for a New Year's Eve concert in Phoenix, hosted by Ashley. Fans cheered as their favorite duo returned stronger than ever.